Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the perfect prime rib roast for special occasions. And to make this relatively easy and fairly inexpensive, we're going to be using two different seasoning packets and combining them to season our prime rib to perfection. You're going to love it. So, enough talking. Let's get cooking. First, we'll start by preheating the oven to 500 degrees so we can get a nice sear to lock in all those juices. This prime rib roast is just shy of 5 pounds. It's been boned and tied, which means they cut the roast from the bones but tied it back on, which is great for flavor and easy carving. This size roast is perfect for 4 to 5 people. So all I'm doing is taking some paper towel and removing any excess moisture. Next, I'm taking some avocado oil, but you can use any oil that you choose, and I'm brushing it all over the roast, even the underside where the bones are. This is going to help ensure that we get a nice sear, and it's also going to help the seasoning to stick to the roast. Here are the two seasoning blends I mentioned earlier that we'd be using. This one is Montreal steak seasoning, which is awesome. I use it all the time. And this one's My Family seasoning packet for prime rib. I've just measured out 1/3 of a cup of the Montreal steak seasoning, and now I'm measuring out 1/3 of a cup of the My Family's prime rib seasoning packet, and I've combined them in a bowl, and I'm just mixing them together. You don't have to worry about adding any salt or pepper. Both seasoning blends have plenty in them. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to season the roast with salt and pepper prior to putting our herb blend on. So now all you have to do is put a nice thick coating all over the roast with our herb mixture. These two combined have the perfect blend of herbs and seasoning for a prime rib roast. There's garlic, onion, paprika, and rosemary, just to name a few, and this saves us time and money from having to purchase them individually. Now that we've seasoned the roast, I'm going to push that to the side and get my deep roasting pan, and it has a rack, and just place the roast bone side down in the center of the rack. Now, I don't care what anybody tells you, the only way to cook a roast perfectly is to use a digital probe thermometer. So here I have my digital probe thermometer. I'm just turning on the digital transmitter. This is the actual probe. It is on a braided wire, and that plugs into the digital transmitter. All you have to do is take the probe and push it into the center, going about halfway through into the middle of the roast. My thermometer set comes with 2 probes, which is great because it allows me to gauge how far in I've pushed the probe. I put it in a little too far, so I've backed it out just enough. That looks to be about center. Now that the oven is fully preheated up to 500 degrees, I'm going to take the roast and put it in for approximately 10 minutes to get a nice sear to lock in the juices. So our starting temperature for our roast is a chilly 44 degrees. So now that our 10 minutes is up, I'm actually going to raise the temperature to 550 degrees, which is broil, and allow it to cook for an additional 5 minutes, which will make the outside of the roast nice and brown and crispy. So I'm going to set a timer just so I don't go past the 5 minutes, but trust me when I say I don't leave the front of the oven. I stand there and watch it to make sure it doesn't burn. Once that 5 minutes is up, we're going to drop the temperature down to its final cooking temperature of 350 degrees. Suggested cooking time is anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes a pound. So I'm setting a timer for 1 hour and 15 minutes. So checking in on our roast at about an hour, the temperature's up to 108 degrees. I also noticed that there was a little bit of smoke coming from the oven, and that's because the drippings were burning at the bottom of the pan. So I just added a little water. I also made a little tinfoil tent to keep the roast from browning any further. So the hour and 15 minutes are up, so combined with the 15 minutes that we spent at the beginning browning our roast at a high temperature, it should be close to done. It's registering at 125 degrees, so I'm going to pull it from the oven because I like my roast medium rare. Medium rare is anywhere from 130 to 135 degrees. I'm pulling it from the oven now because the internal temperature will continue to rise anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees while it rests. I've placed my roast on a cutting board as it's resting, and you can see the temperature is still rising. I'm going to let my roast rest anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes before carving it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is cut the cooking twine that holds the bone to the roast. Put the bones aside and pull off the twine and discard. You can then begin cutting nice thick pieces of your prime rib roast. This turned out to be a beautiful medium rare and is very juicy. For my side dishes, I've cooked some scalloped potatoes and some green beans. So let me plate this for you. Well, there you have it, guys. Prime rib roast. I hope you guys try and enjoy the recipe. And you know the drill. Share, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. And as always, guys, until next time, bye.